Alright guys, what's up? So today I'm going to write a song. Now, I haven't had one of those weird dreams I've been having for the last couple songs I wrote, so if you watch my videos, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, but I keep having these weird dreams where I just have a whole song pop into my head, lyrics and all, like I know what notes to play and stuff for the most part. It's kind of bizarre. Didn't happen this time, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way. So I'm just going to come up with a riff, which I actually did right before I turned on the camera. I didn't really overthink it or anything, which if you're songwriting, that's a tip. Don't overthink it. Just play something. It doesn't have to be super complicated or elaborate. Just come up with something that sounds kind of cool and go with it. So I just came up with a riff right here, which is really, really easy. It's basically just this G major, but it's up pretty high here on the A string. I'm just going to strum on that. Trying to get the gain right with the volume knob here. So I'm just going to go there to the E minor. Yeah, this E here. So E minor. It's like an E minor 7 because I have the D up here and then I have like an A here, so it's actually got the 6th in there as well. But all I'm really doing is just changing the bass note, so it goes from the G and up to the E. So it's really easy. Kind of like that tune with this guitar. So anyway, that's my verse riff. I'm not going to do anything super crazy, so I think what I'm going to do is just go into like a pre-chorus or maybe like a second half of the verse, I'll call it. So it's basically going to be the exact same thing, except instead of finger picking like that, I'm going to just like start strumming. Some kind of thing like that. I'll figure it out as I go. And then the chorus part, I'm probably just going to swap out the chords and just kind of go with another two-note progression. Two-chord progression. So I'm just going to be doing this C9. It's like a C major 9 to this A. My song structure is usually like an A and a B section repeated 3 times, or an A, B, C section repeated 3 times, so basically first, pre-chorus, chorus, and or just verse into chorus. It depends on the song. Sometimes I vary from that, but that's just kind of like my basic go-to outline, and then I can like modify as needed per song. So I always start with a left guitar, and I have this template open on Logic Pro 10 that I like to use. I just kind of like have set it up with the sounds I like to use, so I can just open it up and start recording right away, so I don't really have to think about it too much. Basically, I have 6 guitar tracks, and I just kind of limited it at that so I don't like go overboard, because I will just continue to lay guitar down if I let myself do it. So I limit myself to 6, and I'm really happy if I can keep it to like 4, because you know, I'm not over writing the thing. And I have a guitar solo track open, so the guitar tracks, they're all like staggered, left to right, left, right, left, right. So I'll do like the main guitar, then a dub, and then I'll sometimes do like a little like guitar lead or something like that, all left and rights, and I just kind of like keep going down the line like that. The guitar solo, that's panned up the center. I have a bass guitar panned up the center, also with bias amp 2, which I think I forgot to mention that. All the guitar tracks have bias amp 2 on them, and I just kind of like that program. It sounds really good, and I have like amps that I could mic up, or I used to. I sold a bunch of them. I only have one left, and I just kind of like using this program. It just sounds good. So yeah, the bass guitar has that as well. And then the drums, I do have an acoustic drum room in this studio, but I would need a second person to hit record for me if I was to mic it up and everything. So instead what I do is I record on my electronics drum set behind me, and that works out pretty well. I use some monitoring sounds for like tracking. Their Audio Assault Druminator is the program. And then after I'm done with that, then I'll set it up with Superior Drummer 3, and I have a couple presets on there for various things that I've made for myself that I think sound really good. If you're using plugins, by the way, make sure you get your gain staging right and everything, because I will tell you one thing, like Superior Drummer 3, it's always set to unity gain. You gotta turn it down. I gotta turn down like 12 dB and stuff. Otherwise you're clipping like it's just crazy. So yeah, you're clipping bad if you don't adjust that. Bias amp 2, I got turned down like minus 24 dB because it'll like shoot way up over. So anyway, all the guitars run to a bus. The bass and the drums, they're on their own thing. I don't send all of the individual drums on the electronic kit out to tracks, because you can. But I find that the mixer window and the plugins in Superior Drummer 3 are perfectly adequate, so I just do it on a stereo track. My vocals, they're also run to a bus. So I'm going to do a couple vocal tracks, and they're all run to a bus. And I'll show you that as it go. So, all right, let me shut up and start tracking here. I got the tempo set. Let me see if it still works, because I came up with a riff and just tapped out the tempo. So got 115, and I'm just going to play. I have a crappy drum loop that I use as a metronome, so that's not going to be the final product, so as you're watching this, be aware of that. Yeah, I think we're good here. Okay, so this is, like I said, my left guitar. I've got a certain amp sound on this, and all of them down the line have like slightly different amp sounds, so they just kind of blend together and make a unique guitar tone that I kind of have on my recordings typically. All right, so I think I can start tracking now. Okay, so that's it. Now, when I edit the video, you're only going to probably see like the first verse, pre-chorus, and the chorus, because I don't like to just have it trail on and on and on, because otherwise this video would be obnoxiously long. But my whole thing is it's basically the same thing repeated 3 times, so you didn't really miss much, just me playing the same thing over and over again. So now I'm going to start the left guitar. Actually, let me hit save here, because I don't think I did yet. I always save my songs as the date first, and then I name them later, because I have no lyrics or anything right now, just one guitar track, so don't really know what to call it yet. Alright, so now I'm going to switch over and start the right guitar. Now, I don't really do left and right in order, or have in that order for any reason other than that's just what I do. So I just do left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way down the line for guitars. My volume right for this track. These amp models react really well to the volume knob, so that's one thing I like about them. And that sounds awesome right there, so that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, here we go. Okay, so right side is tracked. Now I have to come up with like overdubs and that kind of thing. Definitely want to do something to build this up. So the verse going like this. It's not too much I want to do over that, but I might do something over the second half. That might work. So okay, so that's the first dub done. Now I'm going to do a second dub, which I don't know if I'm going to do the exact same thing or not. So That's the right side. Now let's jump to, probably going to do a lead part. The last couple of songs I've been doing these like repetitive lead parts, and I kind of like them, and I dropped my pick, so give me one sec. I dropped it halfway through that last take, and luckily I have a little pick holder on my guitar, and I just pulled out another one, so it was driving me nuts sitting there, though. Bright orange, and I could just see it out of the corner of my eye. I've been doing these repetitive lead parts, and they're kind of cool because they like just kind of go out throughout the song, but as the chords change, it kind of gives them a different feel every time something new happens, and I've just kind of been liking that, so I think I might continue in that vein. So I just got to come up with something really, really simple that's just going to work over the whole thing. So I've been fishing around for like a little melody thing here for like good 5 minutes, and finally I arrived at the most ridiculously easy conclusion. I'm just going to do an E minor arpeggio, so E, G, B. And just keep cycling that through. It actually sounds really awesome, so there's a possibility I might harmonize that on the other side, but let's just record this because I've been sitting here farting around with it way too long anyway, so here we go. So that's one side. Now I'm going to do another side. I may or may not harmonize. I might just do the exact same thing. Either way, it's going to sound pretty cool. Just a thought. I actually think I'm going to do it on the 5th fret so it shoots up an octave higher, because I do have a bunch of things going on that are in that same octave range. So what am I doing? Yeah. Yeah, it might actually stand out better. Let's try it. Now let's do a guitar solo. So I just have to find the spot where that starts. Okay, so right about here looks like it's probably close because I'm just going by the size of the blobs on the waveforms. Alright, measure 50. Let's turn on the guitar solo track. Now I'm just going to improvise something and see if I come up with anything I like, and then if I do, I'll kind of try and record it. This actually kind of lends itself to just being a random improvised shreddy type solo, so here we go. listen to it. Yeah, that's decent. I threw some echo on it, so just kind of thickens it up a little bit. All right, hit save here, just in case something stupid happens. I don't really have much problems with this program crashing or anything like that, but I do have a problem with my stupid fingers going blur all over the keyboard and screwing stuff up. So it's happened more than once or twice. Okay, let me put this down. I'll grab my bass guitar and start tracking bass. So see you in a second. All right, so I gotta tune up. I turned on the camera before I did that. Stupid. I think I'm going to do a really easy, just rhythmic thing for the verse. And then the chorus, I'll just kind of like ride around on the chords. So like, I'm even doing that C9 thing. Probably something like that. And then the verse, I'll just keep it really, like I said, a rhythmic thing. Let's just track. Bass line is done, so now on to the drums. I'm just gonna move the camera over and the microphone and start tracking. I'm at the drums. I'm gonna start tracking right away. I'm gonna do some pretty easy stuff like I always do. I like to keep these drum parts for these original songs pretty simple, just so it has like a nice flow to it and whatnot. So I'm going to turn this off because it likes to pick up the rubber pads, and I'm gonna give you direct audio. And yeah, here we go. Alright, I think I might try and start at least a scratch track or two on the vocals, but it depends on whether or not I can come up with anything. But I might do that, I might not, so you may see me tomorrow. I might end up wearing the same clothes, though, so you might not actually know. Swapping out the microphones here to the vocal mode, smacking it on my hat, which is not really good. So maybe I'll lower it a tiny bit, that might help. Okay, so I started doing the scratch track. My battery was kind of low in the camera, so I just kind of put it in to charge it a little bit, and I thought I'd just start making up some melodies, so I just improvised some stuff, and I recorded it. I took the drums that I recorded, and I put Superior Drummer 3 on rather than the monitoring sounds. And then I froze the track, which is something you do in Logic, and that basically just pre-processes the audio. So I kind of do that to, like, you know, just to save a little computing power as I'm recording. So give me 1 second. I think I'm going to freeze the rest of the tracks, or at least the bass guitar. Now I'll do the rest. Yeah, I just processed the tracks, so now they're all done. Should be a little bit easier on the computer. I did this cool thing at the end, so instead of a fade out, you can do like a slow down fade thing. So I did that at the end of the song, so now it's gonna just sound like it like falls down the stairs. Does So that's kind of cool. That's just another thing I did. Okay, so as far as the vocals go, I have a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus part, and I just kind of like improvise the melodies. And then I recorded myself just kind of humming them. Sometimes I say like words barely. They don't mean anything. It's just like, this is just a scratch track, as I call it, and basically it's a memory aid so I can like write lyrics to it and not forget the melody, because I have the short-term memory of a goldfish, so I will forget it immediately if I don't do that. So it's kind of a low melody. I might just, do a harmony on top of it. I might not, depends. So now I'm going to write the lyrics, so give me a little bit to do that. I'll speed up the footage because I don't want you to sit there and watch this because it's kind of boring. I'm just going to write my stuff in this little notepad and stick it onto my stand. It's technically a cell phone holder, so I got to be careful putting it in this thing or it just goes, folds in half and explodes out of the microphone. But yeah, give me a second and I'll get going. Okay, so I'm back. I just wrote down some lyrics and plopped this up on my little cell phone holder, which is now holding a notebook, so I guess it's both. I'm going to just practice this, and then I'll try it for real after I just kind of get the hang of it. So in case you're wondering, the lyrics, when I don't have a song where I just kind of like have it pop into my head while I'm asleep, which, like I said, that's happened a couple times in the recent past, and I don't know why it keeps happening, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, it didn't happen for this, so obviously I just sat here and wrote down the lyrics. I decided to just kind of like write about something, so I was like, what can I write about? And usually I just kind of think of like random things, so I started thinking like I'll like write like something about like maybe like someone doing like a breakup thing or something like that, and then I kind of modified it as I was going, so it kind of starts off sounding like that, and then it kind of actually sounds like someone's being a stalker instead, so it just kind of like changes your expectations as it goes from like the verse into the second verse. I think I can record this though right off the bat, so I'm just going to try it. I'm on the phone here, I'm calling out my lines, I'm in your voice, man, saying I'll be fine. Before we go separate ways, lead our separate lives, before you just end up on me. Stay on the line. One thing I do is I do these dubs where I sing a left and a right side that is pretty much identical to the chorus part. I use that for two things. One, I turn it down and I pan it, and that gives it like a little chorusing effect over top that elevates it above the guitars that happen in the chorus, which are usually going to be a little bit bigger than the verse. And then the other thing that happens is if I was off a little bit in like one area or two, I can kind of like chop it up and move a better section from one of the dubs up into the chorus part and then just crossfade it, and you never know what even happened. Before we go separate ways, lead our separate lives. Okay, so this is also going to sound a little bit weird because they are the exact same volume and not panned, so it's going to get a little phasey and bizarre and sound like, I'm doubling. Before we go separate ways, lead us. That's actually what I want, though. So, okay, here we go. Here's the next one. Before we go separate ways, lead our separate lives. Yeah, and it's that easy. Okay, so now let me listen to it. Before we go separate. Yeah, it's good enough. That's kind of what I want it to sound like. Now, move. What the heck's it doing? Now I'm going to go to the next chorus. Before we go separate ways, lead us. Before we go separate ways. Okay, that's it. Now, I think I might come up with a harmony.
Before we go separate ways and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me while I stay on the line, before we go separate ways and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me while I stay on the line, before we both go ways here and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me.
I might as well try next harmony up and see what it sounds like.
Before we go separate ways, before we go separate ways, before we both go ways.
Alright, so that should do it for the harmony parts. Okay, this occurred to me way too late, as in the last video I did like this, where I just duplicate a track and that way I can still talk. But basically I'm just going to show you what I mean by like turning these down and panning them and how that works. So here it is without that.
Before we go separate ways.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just have, this is the compressor I use, it's just a stock Logic one. It's the Studio FET. It's the one with the black panel on it. Basically I got a threshold of a little bit below 10 dB, ratio of 4:1, no makeup gain, attack is really fast, release is around like 50 milliseconds. And then there's a distortion thing, I just put it on soft here. There's like soft hardened clip distortion, so I put it on soft, and then that just gives it a little bit of a boost. So then I put on an EQ, which just cuts lows and highs. That's it though. And then I put on this stereo reverb, which is chromaverb. Come on. And that takes it from mono to stereo. So these overdubs, they're going to get the compressor without that distortion setting. The one harmony part though, I'm going to turn it on because I just want that one to stand out a little bit. And then the falsetto is not going to have it. And then I'm going to put the same EQ on. I don't really EQ with this mic because it just sounds good with my voice, so I just kind of let it go. You may or may not disagree with that, but I don't care. I like how it sounds. That's all that matters. Okay, so then I'm just going to copy the reverb over. Then I'm going to grab these, actually all of these, and I just go down like 10 dB, actually exactly 10 dB. And then I might vary that depending on what I want to stand out more. Maybe this one harmony I'll boost a little bit, so I'll just go down to like -5-ish. Okay, so then the harmonies, they're going to get -35. Plus 35 for the panning, and that's usually where I set it, and then I'll just adjust from there. So let's listen to this. It should sound a lot better now.
Before we go separate ways and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me while I stay on the line.
Yeah, all that weird phasiness and everything is totally gone. So where it sounds like, you know, I sang like the harmony's a little off, or like the first thing, like it just kind of fixes that when you turn down those dubs, because those dubs are what it's doing. It just kind of like, it's like they're just like super close but not exactly perfect to the original, and then they're just kind of abrasive when they're in the same spot. But once you pan them and get it away and then turn them down, then it actually turns into like a chorusing effect, and it's really cool. And then it just helps. And then, you know, the compression gets everything at the same level. The EQ is just cutting out the white noise that the mic picks on the extreme low and high frequencies. The reverb, the stereo, well, mono to stereo reverb that I'm throwing on, my camera just shut off on me. So anyway, the reverb just glues it all together. So that's why I put it all on. So just showing you that. The only thing I'm going to do after this, I'm going to turn off low latency mode, because that kind of like craps up the sound a little bit, just because it's like turning off some stuff so it can, you know, run without any latency at all. Has to do something. And then so I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to throw on I just throw a limiter on the mix bus, and that's pretty much all I do for mastering, except for a global EQ. Just kind of like, you know, that's it though. Pretty minimalist when it comes to mastering. I just kind of like everything sounding good going into it, and I just kind of, you know, boost the signal up to commercial level, and that's pretty much all. So this is pretty much mixed right now, because like this template comes like exact with everything pretty much set where I like it to be, except I just have to make like micro adjustments. So just tiny little stuff. So I may nudge these vocals up or down in volume just a little bit before the final mix, just kind of like where I feel like they sit. But I just kind of wanted to show you quickly. That's usually around where I place them. Now you're just going to see the split screen part where I just show the final mixed track, and I'm basically like on each screen just playing all the different parts together, you know, basically as a band. So that's kind of cool to watch. And then the next day after I put out one of these videos, I always put out just the song, so you can see that too. And then the next day after that, I usually just do like the guitar solo part. So look for that if you like this. I just like basically how I songwrite, and I hope it, you know, helps someone who's watching to see and get ideas from. You don't have to copy me exactly, but just get some ideas and make a general outline, you know, go from there. So like and subscribe, click the notification bell, and check out more videos on my channel because I got a whole lot of them. So see you later.
Waiting at the front door once again for the millionth time. I can't believe that I'm standing here, but the fault's not mine. And I'm on the phone here, I'm calling out my lines. I'm in your voice, man, saying I'll be fine. Before we go separate ways and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me while I stay on the line. I've been waiting on the street outside your door just to pass the time. You believe that I'm standing here while you hide inside. And I'm on the phone here, calling out my lines. I'm in your voice now, saying I'll be fine. Before we go separate ways and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up on me while I stay on the line. Before we both go ways here and lead our separate lives, before you just hang up